Author Loretta Sage is renowned for penning epic tales with the mythical hero Dash. While working on her newest book, she visualizes Dash and herself in a perilous position involving snakes and goons. She deletes it all after pointing out certain flaws in it. She is under pressure from her publicist, Davin Joy Randolph, who is insisting on seeing the most recent draft of her book, as well as the death of her explorer husband from years earlier. Author Loretta Sage is renowned for penning epic tales with the mythical hero Dash. Later on, encouraged by her PR and social media manager, Loretta accepts an invitation to speak at an exhibition while wearing a purple sequin jumpsuit. When she finds out that Alan Caprison, the Dash cover model, would also be present, she is reluctant to go. She continues nevertheless, and to rousing cheers from the audience, Alan enters the stage while donning a blonde wig. In the middle of the performance, a fan requests that Dash dip Loretta. She makes an effort to perform, but rips off Alan's blonde wig, cutting short the presentation. After receiving criticism from her publicist, Loretta decides to go outside, being off and makes unsuccessful attempts to catch up with them. Abigail Fairfax, an eccentric billionaire, approaches Loretta and tries to court her with a selection of cheeses. He reveals that an item suggests a secret wealth off of a small island, but warns that the treasure could be destroyed at any time by a nearby volcano. Loretta refuses to mention her price when he asks her to. He then knocks her out after telling her that a plane is waiting for her. Alan feels guilty for what happened to Loretta as he returns to the motel. He makes an effort to find her with the help of her publicist and social media manager. Loretta is taken to a campground where Abigail has set up shop to conduct research on the whereabouts of the island's wealth. Loretta is restrained by him, and he orders her to report to work. Meanwhile, Alan arrives on the island in typical tourist fashion, joins Jack, and the two go to Abigail's compound in a little car. After a little nap, Abigail increases the pressure on Loretta to translate the small portion he has discovered that alluded to the riches. He wants her to translate it again even though she already has. Traynor sends off a number of his soldiers in the meantime, and Alan, who was locked out of the car he was supposed to stay in, acts as Traynor's ineffective backup, periodically slapping a few of Traynor's goons. They eventually find Loretta, but are unable to free her from the chair due to the ties. As explosions happen, they eventually transport her chair and all out of the building. They return to the automobile, but Jack is shot in the head, spilling his brains all over Alan's face, stopping them in their tracks. Loretta remains seated in the chair as they eventually put it into the car and drive away. Because Loretta left the only piece of the jigsaw behind, Abigail is enraged and wants her return. Finally reach the car, and Alan advises that they travel through the jungle to the airport in order to contact the authorities. The troops of Abigail are still closing in. Alan gets coated with leeches after a brief trip to a tiny pound, especially on his butt. Loretta picks them off before eventually arriving at a waterfall. At this point, Loretta deciphers the remainder of the enigmatic puzzle he was attempting to solve, using the hint she obtained from Abigail, revealing that the treasure is concealed somewhere with endless tears. The two soon find themselves on the verge of being apprehended by Abigail's goons, and must flee by scaling a mountain. Alan pushes Loretta while placing his head between her knees as he tries to assist her. They succeed in reaching the summit eventually. The two make camp, sharing their journey while eventually nodding off in a rather modest hammock. In the meantime, Abigail orders a group of 3 motorcycle-riding goons to join the chase. The next morning, Loretta finally tells Alan the truth about how she feels about him, saying that he is nothing more than a cover model vying for attention. In fact, Alan says he is proud to be Dash because it makes the audience happy, and that he is from a family. He mocks Loretta for not making an effort to appease the crowd. Once more on the move, the pair eventually arrives in a little settlement. The two clean up, then begin to mingle with the villagers after speaking with the local police about protection. After a brief dance, prompted by a local woman, Loretta gains insight from her about the location of the Pool of Infinite Tears, and asks Alan to join her in the search for the hidden riches. She persuades him, excited to rediscover her sense of adventure, and he leaves to purchase some supplies. She eventually runs into Abigail, who catches her and starts to drive away. Alan rides a little motorcycle behind. After a brief chase, Loretta sets the car on fire inside as Alan engages the goons on top, poorly. The two are eventually arrested and sent to the island, where Abigail is determined to find the vault. It is found that the treasure is simply a man's collection of seashells, as a token of his love for his sweetheart. Angry that they haven't discovered anything, As the volcano starts to erupt, Loretta and Alan are captured by Abigail within a tomb, but not before his henchman leaves them a crowbar. After his recreate the book cover for her subsequent work, which is released months later. After the book's release, the publicist, the social media manager, and Oscar are lounging on an island. Loretta and Alan are close, chatting about the friendship they've developed over their voyage. They kiss after having a little strange discussion.